So it's extremely wide of at what level you can actually find solutions in nature that can be useful for society.
Hi, Justine Harcourt de Tourville. We're on day 2, and I am going to speak with Dominique Adriaens, who's a evolutionary biologist at the University of Ghent, and he's been doing some incredible things here at Hack Belgium. Hi, Dominique, and welcome.
Thank you.
Let me find out, what exactly were you doing in a huddle? I saw you at Huddle 12. What kind of a workshop were you giving?
I was giving a workshop on bio-inspired design.
What is that?
Well, that's actually learning from nature and looking at how nature has solved all kinds of problems and see what can be derived from that to solve all kinds of societal, technological, medical, whatever kind of problems that we humans are confronted with.
Can you give us an example of some bio-inspired design?
Oh, the first example actually is Velcro, which was someone who found his dog covered with all kinds of seeds of plants and said, well, maybe I can make something that has this hook-like structure, and hence their Velcro came. But this goes way further to even design how companies should have their deliver cargo cars and so on in a most optimal way cover a city, by looking at how ants communicate with each other and try to travel shortest possible distance when they go from food to nest and so on. So it's extremely wide of at what level you can actually find solutions in nature that can be useful for society.
And you did this because I think you explained to me earlier that you're a morphologist, or you study morphology. What is that exactly?
Well, morphology is actually anatomy. Yeah. So what I try to do is by looking at animals, try to understand why do they look like the way they do from an evolutionary point of view, and in what way are they adapted to do particular functions pretty good. And it's actually the same idea which is then used in bio-inspired thinking, because it's trying to understand what makes an organism doing something particularly good, because that particular function could be very interesting. So if you understand how an animal or a plant or a bacteria is doing that, we can make a kind of abstraction from that, translate that to a technological, medical, whatever kind of solution.
So have you been attracting all different people from society and Belgium here at Hack Belgium?
Well, I don't know what the background of those people were. But I have been interacting mainly with engineers, but also with medical orthopedic surgeons, see if we can make things like casts that could be more or improving how a patient can heal after fracture by using designs from nature and so on. So it's really a wide society.
Anything you'd like to see happen at Hack Belgium, or anything that comes from this?
Well, with the topics that are now being covered, there are several topics that can actually use inspiration from nature, like energy saving, like circular economy, waste reduction, things like that. These are all processes that nature has been dealing with for millions of years. So I would be nice to see if some of the solutions that come out of those topics are indeed inspired by processes from nature.
Can you give us, for example, since Hack Belgium has really been digging deep into the ecology and environment and climate change theme, can you give us a specific example from nature where they do waste or a pro-climate naturally?
Well, if you look at a forest is constantly producing waste. If a tree dies, it's a dead tree, that's biological waste. But then you have all kinds of new processes that are set in motion, like fungi growing on the dead tree, degrading the dead tree, so you get nutrients back into the soil. And so you have a complete cycle repeating itself, and it has been repeating itself for millions of years. And so you have a perfect circular economy in a forest. So by that we could actually try to pick out what are the processes that we could use to other kinds of products from that.
Dominique, you've been absolutely fascinating. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
My pleasure.
Keep on pushing.